Welcome to Gen Z Hoops, the Gen Z basketball, coaching, and sports business show.
What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another episode of the Gen Z Hoops podcast. Today I'm joined by opera singer, composer, couture designer, Miss Radmila Lawley. Miss Lawley, how you doing today, ma'am?
I'm good, thank you. How are you doing today, Ashton?
Oh, I'm really good. I'm really good. Just getting back in the swing of things here at college. That's all.
That's a fun life.
Yeah, it definitely is. Just a lot of work, school. It's a
What are you
killer.
taking? What course are you taking this semester?
I'm in a calculus class right now.
Oh,
I'm taking a management class and then like an English class and then a music class. You
cool.
need your like the thing you're gonna major in, so that'll be management, calculus. I need that to like go with what I want to major in. And then like I hope none of my professors see this, but 2 GPA booster classes.
Hey, I mean the calculus is tough. What is your major?
I'm management. Like I hope they like add sports management because that's like what I really want to do. But like probably go into like entrepreneurship and marketing if not.
Marketing is everything.
Yeah,
Any
definitely.
product you have, if you don't have a marketing, doesn't matter.
Yeah, I totally agree. So, I'd like to kick off our little discussion here. So, you have an amazing musical career. At what point in your life did you know that you wanted to pursue music?
I would say pretty young age, and I had a opera voice, but I always wanted to tell my own story. So I was never really happy just to do classical productions. I always wanted to create my own songs, write my own songs. But it took a while. So first I was trained as an opera singer, and I've done, Carmen and Modern Butterfly. Those are my favorite operas, actually. So I would always study them and the vocal training for those areas. But I again was not happy. I always want to tell my own story. So it took me a while to find my own voice in music, I would say. So just being in the studio, and I always believe that you can combine different genres of music, like hip hop, electronic music, opera, R&B. So, but it took a while. But one day I remember sitting at the event in New York City, and I said, I want to write my own lyrics. And I remember it was a party, so I went inside the space where nobody was around, and I was just looking out, and I was typing my thoughts and my previous relationship and the emotions that they gave me. And that was my first song that I wrote lyrics. And from there on, it just started adding up, adding up, adding up. And I started doing my own music. Started taking lessons in about 10 different instruments, because when I compose music, I want to actually know if the instrumentalist can actually play the piece, like cello, violin, piano, and saxophone, and I took all kind of. And so that really opened up my ear and my vision for the music and the tones that I like. And I guess that's it.
Well, that's amazing. My mom actually made me like play the violin when I was really young. Like she said that like I needed courage at some point. So like I can say that like playing all those instruments definitely makes you feel like some sort of courage, especially like going up there on stage in front of all those people for like recitals and stuff like that.
Oh, yes. And violin, if you don't practice enough, people can tell right away. You can't fake it.
Yeah, I totally agree. So your first album, Four Stories at the Standard Hotel, it released in 2016. What were your goals for this album? And looking back at this album now, what comes to mind?
Well, that album I actually did not write, meaning I was not a composer on that album, or I didn't write the lyrics. So again, I was branching out from classical. I collaborated with a composer today that, wrote it. And so it was a combined effort. And so basically finding my own voice in the classical way, that was definitely an entrance to realizing I can do a lot more things with my vocal range, and things that, in a way I wanted people to dance to my music too. And that was an entrance to my journey, I would say.
Wow, that's amazing. I actually recently watched the Thriller 40 documentary, the 40th anniversary of Michael Jackson's Thriller, and he said something similar, to be honest with you. When him and Quincy Jones were writing this, he didn't want people to think of him as like, the kid from like the Jackson 5 or anything like that. He wanted to have like a distinct something that set him apart from the rest. So like he would like what's the word, like get like, try out different types of clothes, like with all the sparkles, like all the
Yeah,
sparkly socks, like have his own distinct sound. Like the hee came into effect
yeah,
at that point.
yeah. The moonwalk, the dance.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, see, I believe that when you perform, Michael Jackson was obviously an amazing musician, but it's also performance itself, right? The costumes has to be right, the dance, the voice. So I look at myself as more of that now. I want to put on a good show for people, so when they leave, they go, "Whoa, that was a show."
right.
It's not about, yeah, of course you want to make sure that you hit the right notes and everything else, but I am more of a performance of a show itself.
Yeah, definitely. And you had that opportunity when your second album dropped, which is called Wonderland, at the event at Carnegie Hall. It was called A Night of Opera and Couture. What was this experience like, and what was your mentality at this point in your career?
Well, it was very special because from 2016 to 2018, it was 2 years, right? And in that 2 years, I launched my first couture collection. I shot all those music videos that I had in mind, the way I wanted, collaborating with, amazing models and artists themselves, and start writing my own music, working with different producers, being in LA, filming. I remember I filmed 3 music videos, recorded 5 songs, and
Yeah,
what else did I do? Basically in 2 days in LA, driving to the desert, coming back, going straight to the studio. And my team we were all so excited. It felt like we were just in one breath doing everything. So that's really opened up and really showed me that I can really express myself as an artist in different elements of the art. And so Wonderland was very special because I released music. The idea was it was like trilogy songs, so like more starting with more pop, then transitioning to electronic music and opera, and then it would be more of a cinematic, and then also at the end, March 18th, it's a song. I always like to tell the message when I perform. It's not
right.
just, okay, it's a simple song, we can dance, okay, great. But I also want to, like, what is the message behind the song? And it's about, in 100 years, no one from us will be here, but what
Right.
we leave behind us, our legacy, will still
Definitely.
be here. So, and then I also launched it was my second collection. Yeah, it was my second collection of couture. So combining all those elements, like we talked about Michael Jackson, I guess that was my first being on stage and looking at all these elements that I combined into one was out of body experience.
Yeah, and definitely. So you wanted your song, so if anything, you wanted your songs to kind of like tell a story of your life, if anything, right?
My life, or even if, because like for example, like not everything is my life there, but I get into character, right? So
Right.
it's a character, but again, I'm sure the character has some similarities to me because it's my kind of character, even if not my experiences, but still. I'm a very visual person, so when I write a song or I compose, when I play piano, I can see the gowns, I can see the if it's what kind of music video that goes with it, or what kind of film. So yeah, I'm very visual.
That's really interesting. Does like whenever you hear like does a melody ever like come to you like out of nowhere sometimes?
Oh, for sure. Especially, I kind of need to turn it off because ideas always come to me. So it's like, okay, sometimes, you have to have a regular life too to live. So I can't be always in my zone. So what I do is when I used to travel a lot, especially before COVID, I would, have my record all my ideas here. So I would like walk at the airport and be like humming a melody. Or sometimes I would just sit and play a keyboard or, piano. I would pick up a violin, I pick up a cello, and I just do a couple of notes and it inspires me to something else. So I get inspired literally from everything. Like I can hear the sound like this and I'd be like, oh, that's a, drum beat, so different things.
Yeah, definitely. I know I mentioned Michael Jackson before. Like, I'm a huge Michael Jackson fan, but I watched in one of his interviews. He said the melody for Billie Jean, the that came from him like when he was just like eating breakfast one time. He said it just like came to him out of nowhere, and then he ended up writing one of his biggest hit. Like,
Exactly. I mean, amazing things that happen in life, like even my Georgia dress, I know we'll get there. That's not, I mean, people have done it before, obviously, bought the Georgia cut out, but how I got there, it was just me. I actually did not know people do that. And I just wanted to be an authentic fan
yeah,
and still represent my style.
right, definitely. So in 2021, still sticking to like our topic right now of
Yes,
music.
of course.
You released the song Magic. What were the biggest challenges writing this song like post COVID-19 pandemic?
Well, a lot of things, obviously, with COVID, things, traveling changed. I would spend my time before COVID, New York, LA, Miami. And so now it was just Miami, and I was happy to be here. It's not like I was complaining, but it's like, what are we doing? We're now indoors, and so I really took that time, and I was not stopping. I was still working. I updated a lot of my websites. I did a lot of new compositions, so I kept going, and so I did not know that Miami is actually named Magic City. So I called my producer and I was like, I really want to have a fun song that represents Miami. I have lyrics. I don't remember if I had lyrics already, or I said, "Can you create a beat?" And then so producer sent me the beat, and I was like, "Yeah, that's great." And then we went back and forth on the track, and then I wrote the lyrics. I think that's how it happened. Yeah, I wrote the lyrics, and I called it Magic, and I said it really feels like Miami, and I called it Magic City. And then I find out that Miami is called Magic City, so it was just a full circle.
That's great. Wow, you like represented the whole city of Miami by that one song. It's amazing.
Yeah. And so now that I'm performing this around sporting arenas, it's kind of fun to Magic City. It's like I said, it's a full circle.
Yeah, definitely. So along with your musical career, you also have a career in fashion, as we've been discussing. What made you ultimately get into the fashion industry?
Right. So since I was a kid, I would always create like stuff out of my mom's scarves and things like that. Always create my own ideas and fashion. I would always argue with my mom the way she wanted to dress me, and I wanted to go dress differently. Uh, but my grandmother was a seamstress and a dressmaker, actually, and my mother is a painter, artwork, and also dressmaker and a seamstress. So growing up, always watching my mom kind of sewing. So I knew how to sew since I was a kid and how to sketch because of her. And so when I moved to New York, I would attend to a lot of red carpets events and things like that, and also my performances. I could not find the things that I liked a lot, especially they were very high in price. So I started making my own clothes, not for every day, but like for performances and more special events. And people would come up to me like, "Who's the designer? Who's the designer?" And I did not want to really tell them because I was like 19, 20, 21. I was just like, "Oh, it's vintage." Because I want for people to take me seriously
Yeah.
in opera world, because I was studying opera, because back then, I know for you it's different because age difference, but back then people didn't want to, okay, you're opera singer, you here, you're composer, you here, you're fashion designer, you here. Now you have more hybrid models, everybody can
Right.
do different things. And before, it's like, especially in the classical world, now again it's more open, but before it was like, okay, she's not really an opera singer then if she does design, what is she really? So I kind of didn't want for people to know. And then when I got in my, I would say mid-20s and like closer to late 20s, that's when I was like, I have to embrace the fact that it's been me all this time. So one day I just told people that ask, and they're like, "Oh my God, can I have one of a, can you make one something for me?" And then it became kind of a business. And then red carpets, I do a lot of, Emmys, Grammys, Academy Awards, weddings. I do also film design and stage design. So it kind of evolved into that, and I started getting private clients and celebrity clients, and yes, and I launched my first collection that I mentioned 2016 in September,
Yep.
and then 2016 to 18, that's when I developed even more of my brand as fashion brand.
Do you remember like when the first person who asked you to ever make something for them?
Yeah, actually, I'm trying to think. Um, I have, like my friends, my private clients became, but a lot of yeah, like they more in a businesswoman. And then I would say my first celebrity was Gail King. So I was very, very happy. Such a icon. And I remember going to her, I remember going to her office, and people send her all the time, like designers send her, dressing her, and then different stylists. So, and I did not know that she never wear black colors, and so I made her a gown with black and white. So it's kind of a back skirt, and so when you move it, you can see the white, but it's like a very pretty silhouette. I can send you pictures. And so she was like, okay. So when I dropped it off, one of the stylists there goes, "Hey, if you're gonna wear a black dress, you're gonna wear this one." And so I was very, flattered. And so she went to, I believe, a museum gala, and she sends me, I get an email, and she's like, "Oh my God, everybody loved it. Here's the pictures, and you did a great job." So that was one of my biggest compliments.
Wow, that's insane. Do you think like by having her like as one of your first celebrity clients that like word got out and then like after a while like more and more celebrities started like coming to you to ask
For
them?
sure. For sure. Like we talked about, marketing is everything, right? I mean,
Yeah.
people like, oh, okay, if Gail King, and she, she obviously knows style and she's a beautiful woman. And if she can wear, why wouldn't I check out Radmila also?
Yeah. So, and you introduced your first Haute Couture collection at Gotham Hall in New York City. What was the inspiration for this collection, and how did it feel to finally introduce the collection at this event?
You know, that's a good question. I remember I drew that collection literally in like, I don't know, 1 hour, and it was like 33
Wow.
looks, I think. Because when I get inspired, I'm actually very fast at what I do, whatever. If you ask me to compose a full orchestra, piece, I can probably sit down and good in about an hour also. If I put my mind, I'm very fast at things. So yeah, I was so inspired, and I wanted to work with a lot of red because red is my favorite color. They call me Radmila. And red, emerald green, and royal blue, that's like my favorite colors. And I had some black also, because a lot of people do like black, and some styles look really pretty in that color. So anyway, yeah, I kind of, that's the color theme, and I just started drawing, and I had a full collection. And then I had a company that obviously could understand the engineering. I would explain to him how to engineer the dresses and pieces like that, and it came to life. And it was a show at Gotham Hall.
That's amazing. So let's stray away from like fashion a little bit at right now. Could you talk to me a little bit about your connection to the game of basketball?
Of course. Well, let me tell you something. I had no connection to the game of basketball whatsoever 5 years ago. You would never find me at any sports arenas ever. Like when I lived in New York, it was, classical world, Carnegie Hall,
Right.
Met, obviously dinners, events, and that's kind of what the world I was in. And when people go, "Hey, we're going to Knicks game," I'd be like this, "Okay, bye." Interested. And so if you would have told me like 10 years ago that I would be like a Miami Heat lady. I remember coming to Miami about 10 years ago, actually when LeBron played.
Right.
And some of my friends would go to Miami Heat game, and I'd be like, I pass. And it's funny how I'm so in love with the game of basketball and actually sports itself. It's so exciting, the fan base, the culture itself, the being there, the arena. So I was definitely missing out on a lot, but I guess you can never go backwards. So here I am.
Right.
Um, I go to every game. I think I have not missed this season. Well, I mean, home game, obviously. I don't travel. I've been to some away games, but not all the time. So all the home games, and I think I've been there when it was a bubble, not the bubble when they were away, but
Right.
bubble here at the arena when it was like 20 people
Yeah.
only. And so I think I've attended, I don't know, maybe 200 game now, 250,
Wow.
since I became a ticket holder. So yeah, we moved to Miami. Miami is much smaller than New York, obviously. In New York, you have so many different things you can do. And I'm not saying that Miami doesn't, but it's smaller. And Miami Heat is a real culture of Miami. I know Knicks also, but like I said, it's other things in New York, or going on. But Miami Heat is definitely our center. Miami Heat, Florida Grand Opera, that I'm actually involved with all of those companies now, definitely represent Miami in Florida. So I love a game of basketball. Obviously, when I'm sitting, you feel like you're part of the game itself. You hear the conversation, the coaches. I'm
Right.
not one of those people who gonna talk back to coaches. I'm not like that.
Yeah.
I'm very respectful because everybody's doing their job. I've never had any problems. No players ever, or anybody ball never hit me, or nobody ever fell on me. People ask me that. I'm like, nope, it didn't happen. And what I was gonna say, yeah, and I'm really, flattered, and they accepted me as a family, and I love being part of hit culture. also I do know when other seats, obviously I've sat in different seats, and it's a different energy when you're there where I am. It's more obviously you're inside the game, but when you sit in the seats further or boxes, it's a different, it's more of a every fans are together.
Yeah.
You're watching the game, but you really feel the fans' energy. Where I mean, yeah, you can hear the fans, but it's more of a player's energy where I'm at.
Yeah, I went to game 7 last year of the Eastern Conference Finals. I was like the only Heat fan sitting in the stands with all those Celtics fans. I had like walking into the arena, like groups of people cursing me out because I'm wearing my like Jimmy Butler coffee shorts for Big Face Coffee, his jersey, and I was just letting them like I'm not gonna say what I was saying back to them because that's like a little unprofessional too, but and all the explicitives as well. But I was letting them hear it back. But thank God the Heat won that game. I wouldn't have walked out alive if they.
Oh, yes. I mean, yeah, I have, obviously I was there when we lost, not this playoffs, but playoffs before when we lost to Celtics. So, and then they won on our court. So it was not a great feeling, I would say.
They played tonight at Kaseya Center, I
Oh, I
think.
know. I'm heading there now. I'm going to show you my outfit. I have a
Oh
skirt.
wow.
Yeah.
Let's
Yeah, I'm
go.
heading there in an hour. Yeah, so what I was going to tell you about, you mentioned something about the game. And
The energy in
so
that
I
arena.
went to the not Lakers. I went to the Clippers game on January 1st and Miami Heat in LA. And I
Yeah.
was wearing a pink gown. I don't know if you saw it, NBA posted it. But I always have a lot of people go, wow, respect to you because you're obviously wearing this gown. You're like, okay, respect. But somebody did shout out, say Miami Heat sucks. And I wanted to kind of, I ignored it. See, I wanted to really get into but it's like not worth it. It's like, what's the point?
Yeah.
You know?
I'm a little immature at that. When someone tells me that, I start bringing up like stats, start arguing. I don't
Uh,
just let it go
yes.
in one ear, out the other. I think that game was tough against the Clippers. I
It
don't think
was.
Jimmy Butler didn't play that game. I don't think he was
No.
out ankle
Yeah,
injury.
yeah, Jimmy was injured. I can't remember. I think Hero played, Bam played, but
Bam
we were
played.
missing. I'm not sure. I don't remember if Lowry played, but I remember
Hawkes played.
unfortunately we were a little off, but it's okay. I mean, we won the Lakers game 2 days afterwards, so it's fine.
Yeah, it's fine. It's fine. Split the trip. It's totally fine.
It happened.
So as we've been talking about like your dresses and the dresses that you wore to all these Heat games, what was like the inspiration to start creating these dresses?
So, like I said, I started going to the games 2019-20 season, and me looking around, I remember it was January 2020, and me looking around, I went to the store. It was like cute stuff there, just not my style. I mean, I like long dresses. I like very, that's what I do. And so that's how I express myself as an artist. And I couldn't find anything that I feel comfortable representing my style and being an authentic fan. So I thought to myself, what if I buy 15 jerseys, different players, all the team, I mean, what they had, and combine it into one and make a my style gown out of them and be a authentic fan and authentic Radmila. And I did. And then COVID, March 11, everything got shut down. So obviously I no games to go to. And they stopped playing on January 2021, and it was just like me, my friends, and 10 other people in the stadium for like 6 months, right? So again, I'm not going to show up in that gown. It's like wasn't really. I was waiting for that time will come when I really can wear it and celebrate my team.
Right.
So that we lost, if you remember, first round to Bucks. That's play.
Yeah, we got swept that year. I remember that.
We did.
Sorry, we beat them
And then
last year.
exactly. The next year came, the next season came, and I was dressing up and I was wearing my stuff and regular things. And then playoffs happened, and I thought, what if I pull out my Miami Heat gown?
Right.
And so my first one was red, and it said Miami on it, I think, and all the other players. And it got viral, and people went crazy. They didn't know if it was actual official gown by Miami Heat or what's happening. So it went viral. It was very flattering. And people like, what is she going to wear tomorrow? Do you really want to watch game 7? Or you vote for, you just because you want to see Radmila? So it was like all this Twitter stuff. I mean, I was not really participating in comments and things like that, because the second you start doing that, it's just going to be endless. And so I watch, and I mean, I know what's happening. And I would say 95% was very sweet. And then you have 5% that have nothing going on in their life, unfortunately, and they just want to hate. But I'm not really focusing on that. So yeah, and then I was like, oh my God. So my team, because I have a team of seamstresses and stuff, I'm like, okay. So I was calling the Heat. I'm okay. I need white today. Then I need a multicolor. And I'm gonna make this ones. And so I I think I made like 4 that round. And then we lost when I was wearing the white one. I think the game 7 to Celtics. Yeah, that was my. And then again, I started speaking to the Heat, and I started speaking about doing my own line one day, maybe doing halftime show. And then I had a sketched full line already, but it takes time, because obviously it's the licensing and things like that. So the season, the playoffs come this year. And so I kind of creating the buzz again, because I kind of thought, hopefully I will have my line this season. So I was kind of wanted to make sure that people still remember me. And so I started making different variations. I started making skirts, also jumpsuit and things like that. So yeah, and when we agreed that I'm going to do the collection for the arena, I had everything produced, and we agreed that I'm going to do halftime show, launch the collection, and here we are. Collection sold out. Halftime show was exactly about a month ago, and we have a second drop in March for the playoffs, all white. And I mean, I think we're going to playoffs, right? So
Going to the finals. The finals.
The finals. I need that ring. I don't care about engagement ring. I don't care about anything else, but I care about this ring. Okay, I want my Miami Heat ring.
Definitely. I'm sorry if I make a face every time you mention when we lost in game 7 against the Celtics. That one still stings a little bit.
Oh, you're telling me? Oh, trust me. I mean, I know I'm trying to be like, when I talk to Celtics fan, I mean, obviously I'm not gonna like, but it's a little bit like I just go, hey, that's nice.
Oh man, I remember it was finals week my junior year. It was my junior year of high school. My roommate, he was a senior, he wasn't there, so it was just like me and this other kid in the dorm because the whole dorm was just seniors. I remember I was watching that. They came back down 10 to get the game within 2. As soon as Jimmy got that rebound, I started screaming at the TV, "Shoot it, Jimmy! Shoot it, Jimmy!" He shot it. I was like waiting for it to go in. It didn't go in. I collapsed and I saw like a tear go down my eye. Next thing you know, my phone starts blowing up. Everyone starts heckling me, calling me, talking garbage to me. I'm like, man, I don't even want to.
That's sports for you, right? You make a right decision, people calling you saying how great you are. You making
You would have been
like
the hero if you made that shot. Like,
yeah, but it's like life, that's the love of basketball. You just well, any sports, but basketball, I mean, you can have such a turnaround. I mean, one shot can obviously make
totally
but
agree.
I mean, look, obviously Jimmy is Jimmy, and he's an amazing player, and we're so happy to have him. And he makes, I mean, obviously you need every player to win. You need but Jimmy is when we know Jimmy comes out, something is cooking.
Yeah, definitely. So you've been in the Kaseya Center as we've been talking about for many incredible Miami Heat moments. What is your favorite moment?
I would say a few. Obviously, I don't. You remember the game this season when Jimmy kind of took his time, and the buzzer took, and then he had like 5 seconds on the clock left, and he shoots and he makes that 3, and we win.
Yeah, against the Bulls, right? It was against
Was it against the Bulls? I just remember it was like a couple of months ago, right?
It was
About
the step back against Kobe White.
yeah.
Like
But it
the
was
whole
just so
crowd.
cool the way he kind of, because you didn't know he kind of took his time, and you're like, oh my
Yeah.
God, the clock is running out, shoot it. I mean, that's what
Yeah.
I felt. And so he did, and here we are, we won. It was by 1 point, I think, or something like that. So
Yep.
that was cool. And I remember triple overtime. That was insane. Toronto Raptors last year. Last year? Yeah, last year, December, I think it was. No, 2022, I guess, December. But anyway, that was definitely something like, you won overtime. Okay, you do 2 overtimes, but then 3 overtimes. It never happened since I've been a fan. So
Yeah, definitely.
that's definitely one of my favorite moments. My unfavorite moment is obviously Celtics game 7,
Yeah,
22-23 season. Yeah, I mean, all of them are obviously, but those are stand out right now.
definitely. So we talked briefly about the playoff run that happened last season. What was it like to be in the arena for that atmosphere? What was the atmosphere like in the arena during that playoff run, all the way from the play-in to the NBA Finals?
I mean, the energy is just insane. Like I said, I'm very cool fan. Like, I mean, yes, I get up, I cheer, but I'm
Yeah.
not like, like I had my friends, Food God. I don't know if you know, his name is Jonathan Cheban, but it's his name is Food God now. He changed it, but anyway, you should look him up. So, and it was him and my friend Bailey, and she's married to Jamal Mashburn. I'm sure you know.
Yep.
And so we were all, and they are very, very energetic. And by that I mean falling and pushing. And so I remember, obviously, when you're around that company, you kind of my emotions are on more upbeat than normal Radmila.
Yep.
So yeah, they kept falling on me and kept screaming. So that was fun. I enjoyed that. I remember they kind of pushed me down. Like I fell on my seat. I was like, okay, guys, I don't really do that. So that was very exciting. So that was playoffs game. And everybody wearing white. It's so festive. Everybody's
Yep.
screaming. It's such an energy. And it's Miami already. So it's a very happy place.
Totally agree. Were you in the building when Jimmy Butler had the 56-point game last year against the
Yeah,
Bucks?
of course.
What
Of
was
course.
that game? What was that game like? Did you like everyone thought like Giannis was coming, but the narrative was Giannis comes back. Oh yeah, the Heat are done for. Tyler Hero's out for the season. Like that was the whole narrative. And then this guy just comes out, scores, I think it was like 20 something points in the first quarter, ends up having 56 points for the game.
Yeah, it was very impressive. I tell you that. It was, I mean, it's like, how do you put on those kind of numbers in the playoffs? I
Yeah,
mean, one thing is all, see regular season, but in playoffs, I mean, but that's what I love about Jimmy. Jimmy is when it's time,
yeah.
Jimmy
Turns it
is
on.
full force. And so you don't have to doubt him when that spotlight comes when he needs to put on a show, he will definitely do it. And I remember, yeah, it was obviously all the everybody was against us in a way. I mean, people thought the Bucks gonna win, then the Celtics gonna win. Right. So
Knicks
no,
were
no,
gonna
sorry,
win.
we had a plane, right? So we lost to Atlanta. Then we went to we beat Bulls, right?
Yeah.
And then we stopped playing Bucks because they were
Yeah.
number one, and then we
Beat
had
them in
some,
5,
yeah.
and
And
then
then we
played
had,
the Knicks.
oh, the Knicks, that's right. Of course. So we had Bucks, Knicks, Celtics.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and then lost to the Nuggets in the finals.
Yeah. Oh, I remember that.
That was tough. That was tough. People were trying to talk garbage to me about that. I'm like, man, we just beat the whole East. Like, you can't really tell
Thing
me
it doesn't
anything.
happen by luck, I mean, and that's what I was trying to, I mean, come on, like one thing is okay, maybe you can say, because remember Giannis was out and they
Yeah.
were saying, oh, because of Giannis is
Yeah,
out. And
we were injured. We were injured.
yeah, and then Giannis came back and then we still won.
Yeah, he still won.
And,
Exactly.
I mean, we are, like I said, Miami Heat has amazing culture, not just
Exactly. Next
culture.
man up.
Yeah, and then the way they are, like the coaches, the staff, the whole team behind also, it's very disciplined, and they know how to strategize.
Yeah, definitely. Who would you say your favorite player is on the Heat? Like, we could
Like
say
I said,
of all time and now.
it takes it all to win. I always say so. I don't like to pick. It's like composition, like you need an orchestra to play the whole piece
Yeah.
to sound beautiful. So I don't like to pick favorites, but like I said, of course, when I see Jimmy, Bam, I mean Hero,
Yeah.
obviously because I also know a lot of them, so I don't want to pick my favorites,
Yeah.
but look, Jimmy is a key player. He's a captain, in my opinion, in our team. So we need Jimmy.
Yeah, definitely. So we mentioned before that you launched a line for the Miami Heat and it got sold out. The second drop will be on March 15th. What are your expectations for this drop?
Well, I hope I'm going to sell out pretty fast.
Yeah, definitely. White hot playoffs too. And you have White Hot Bernie coming out, the mascot.
You know, he matches his outfit sometimes to me. I remember my
Really?
first game. Yeah, I have a video. My first game ever. Well, not ever. Sorry, I went to the preseason that 2019-20, but first opening game, and I was wearing gold outfit, shiny, and then
Yep.
he looks at me and he goes like that, and he comes back with his gold outfit on, and then he comes out and we're like dancing together, and I'm like, who wore it better? Obviously he did, but
Can't stop Bernie. I actually went to a Heat game when I was in like fourth grade. LeBron was still there. Me and my mom were sitting like a little behind the bench because like she went all out and got these seats because I love LeBron, Wade, Bosh, like all those guys growing up. And then I actually got to shoot a free throw on the court like right after LeBron like walked back into the locker room after his pregame warm up. Next thing you know, Bernie's coming out. I think it was around like Christmas time. He had like the Santa hat on and all that stuff. My mom actually, she's like always loved Bernie. So she was like trying to get his attention, like, come over, come over. We end up getting a picture, and that was like one of my favorite memories ever being in that arena. I think it was called American Airlines Arena at the time. So
yeah,
yeah.
yeah, it was still American Airline even when I joined, when I got the tickets, and then it changed to FTX, and now it's Kasai Center. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. So what are you thinking about tonight's game? What do you think is going to be the outcome? A
uh,
win.
I don't like.
Don't
uh,
jinx it. We can't
well,
do
you know, I mean, look, he showed me so many different things. Sometimes when we too relaxed, you know, we lose to the teams that are not as strong even as us. And when
that.
we know we have a battle, we come all prepared and full force. So I think we're gonna win. I mean, I have to say that. I mean, I'm a
Yeah.
Heat fan, so I think we're gonna win, and that's kind of it. And I mean, look, I mean, obviously Celtics is a great team too. I'm not gonna
Yeah,
start saying that, you know, but I mean, it's Miami Heat is my team, so we'll win, right?
definitely. We also have Terry Rozier now.
We do. I saw him play yesterday. I was at the game,
Oh,
and
that's a tough one. But they're
it's
just figuring things out still,
well,
integrating
the
with the
first game,
offense.
right? I mean, you're
Yeah, first
adjusting. I
game.
mean, so many different things to think about. You know, new crowd, and you know, he just got here. Like literally, he
Yeah,
got
exactly. He
before
got
the
fresh
game.
off the plane. Can't
So
really expect
I think
much
he
from
did
him.
pretty good. I mean, pressure was on him and he did his job. And I think it would be a great compliment for us. I still don't know his skills. Obviously, I never really watched him play at the Hornets before that. So I didn't really pay attention. But now I will. But he seemed like great part of the culture. So I'm sure it's
He's
going to be good.
he's really good. Think about it like this. He's Kyle Lowry, but a younger version, and he's more athletic.
I'm sure Kyle would not like to hear this.
I don't know. I like Kyle Lowry. I like Kyle Lowry. But I'm quoting Shannon Sharp from First Take. I'm quoting him. But it's the same, but
The same height, right?
kind
They're
of
pretty
true.
much the same height.
They're the same height too, but except like he's like a little more athletic.
Yeah, well, he's like
Kyle
29,
Lowry is
right?
amazing
And
though.
Kyle is like, no, of course, Kyle is amazing. And he's been in a league, I mean, for what, 18 years, 19 years?
Yeah, he's NBA champion. He's probably
Yeah.
gonna be a Hall of Famer, like the best Toronto Raptor of all time.
Yeah.
Full
So
resume, multi-time All-Star.
exactly. So, I mean, look, I think it's going to be interesting. I mean, look, like I said, I really trust, obviously, Pat Riley and all the decisions that they always do. Uh, like chess pieces, moving the
Yep.
team and putting, I mean, Triple J is amazing. And
Jaime Hawkins,
right. I mean,
so good.
he's very good. He also, like, to me, I mean, I know he's 22, 23. How old is he? 22, 23,
I think so, yeah.
around that.
Around
But
that age.
plays the way he plays, and it's more of like a mature player. Like he played
Yeah.
already 5 years, you know, because, you know, rookies come out. I mean, they can be good, but they still like too excited or, you know, still need to know the game. He seems like he kind of played already for like good 4 or 5
Yep.
seasons.
He spent all 4 years at UCLA, so he had the chance to like fully develop over there. And then they also had like a lot of like deep NCAA tournament runs as well. They can integrate him perfectly into the starting rotation. I thought it was amazing. Like he can really defend guys like LeBron, like Kevin
And
Durant, he
he
had to
has no
guard.
also, like, you know, I mean, obviously you're a rookie. You maybe you can feel a little bit like intimidated, but he doesn't
Yeah.
have that even.
That's
Like,
Heat culture. That's
Yeah,
huge.
and I love that. Like if I would be like the way I am when it comes to my performance and stuff like that, people call me like I'm very fearless. Like I go for it
Yeah.
and I don't care. And obviously, when I'm on stage, I'm a different persona than Radmila talking
Yeah.
to you. You know what I mean? But when I'm on stage, everything just that's just who how I am. So if I would play, I'm sure I would be kind of like that. I don't care who you are. I'm gonna go against you and give you the best what I have. So I get the mentality. And I'm going to show you what I'm wearing today, Miami Heat versus Celtics. So I have a bowl skirt, as you can see, with multiple jerseys, different names, and different colors jerseys. So kind of represents whole Heat culture. And yeah, it's a kind of a bowl gown skirt. And then this top is out of my regular collection, my couture collection. So both worlds collide.
That's great. I hope we come out with the win tonight.
We will. Let's go Heat.
Thanks for listening to Gen Z Hoops. Make sure to follow, like, and subscribe on Instagram, LinkedIn, and all major social media platforms at Gen Z Hoops. You can tune in and subscribe on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube, and every other podcast platform on the planet. Get ready for the next episode.